Good evening, and it's time for sports. My name is Abigail Senasa. So it's raining goals as Anfield as Liverpool are 5-2 up against the AS Roma in the semi-finals of the ongoing UEFA Champions League. Mohamed Salah, Firmino and Sadio Mane couldn't get it wrong at Anfield. And currently, with just 5 minutes to end the game, Liverpool are up by 5-2 against AS Roma. Interesting stories in Ghana, and earlier this afternoon, the Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. George Efie, was sacked or relieved of his post by President Kwesi Nyantakyi, and a lot of conspiracy has been held to that, given the election that is set for 2019. And Jeffrey Asare, who is with the camp of George Efie, believes that this is the battle line for that election.
Only few people have courage to stand up to Kwesi when it comes to the executive committee, which George has done. Only few. Now, proud to the Ahmad election. I always use that because Issa is far bigger than this. The point is that there were changes in the executive committee. There were appointments, people who were seen to be anti-Hayatu, were taking out the rest. By the end of the day, when the secret ballot took place, what happened? Because in our part of the world, there are so many people who lack the courage to stand out and be counted to speak against developments that are not right. But when it gets to the stage where they need to show that via secret ballot, they are going to show it. So look, this one is the least of our worries. While the people were going to the meeting yesterday, we had discussions with some of them. We know their position publicly, and we know their position privately. So don't be, it's the least of our worries at all. We are working very hard. Trust me. Kwesi will have the shock of his life come next year with the election. Look, the campaign, we've not started our campaign yet. We are lying low. We are taking things easy, putting things in proper perspective, making sure our strategies are working very well. He's really going to have his match. And this is going to be the real match that he's ever had in his tenure as a president.
Things are getting heated up in Ghana football after George Efie's declaration on his birthday. A lot has come up to the build-up to the 2019 GFA elections. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be George Efie against his boss, Kwesi Nyantakyi? Are we going to see any surprises? But Jeffrey Asare thinks that just because his candidate wants to run for this election, there's going to be blood at the FA, literally, but they are ready to contest anybody that comes up against George Efie.
Look, if you listen to the arguments of those who are speaking for the president, Blue Boy, so many other people, Palmer and co. The point clearly and consistently have been made is that the man has not come out to the executive committee to say that he was going to contest. So there was no need for George to announce in the first place because the president can change his mind, and that he has no reason to go out there and do what he did. What he did was illegal, was wrong, and that he has lost the trust of the president. And before they took him off as the chairman of the Black Community Committee, these were the allegations, these were the things that were said before. It's the same thing has been repeated. Now, the only difference is that we have to have the numbers to unanimously agree that he should go. But these are the bases that are highly flawed. But like I said, George is the least worried. He understands this game than, most of the people who are today, who are professing to be.
Still with Ghana football, and the news of George Efie's relief of post was met by a lot of reaction from Ghanaians. Those who think it is in the right direction, and those who also think that Kwesi Nyantakyi acted based on some panic button that has been pressed. Let's listen to Ghanaian fans out there.
I'm not surprised if the exit is long overdue. It's supposed to come earlier. The day he declared he's going to run the elections as the football administrator, he's supposed to be sacked long time, because you are with this man ruling the affairs of Ghana football. All of a sudden, you turn your back against the man that you want to run. What's the new agenda are you bringing on board? You are not going to bring anything on board. The exit should even come long overdue. So I'm in support of this exit from the Ghana football administration.
It's not the best. Once he has retained his intention to stand for the post, I think they have to allow him to also contest and see whether he can win. Because it's not a monarchy system. He alone cannot be there. He has been there for almost about 12 years now. I think all the ideas he has gone bad. So somebody should also bring some fresh ideas so that we see. But to me, for sacking him is not the best. That shouldn't be the solution. I don't think it is too early, because he also has supporters. So they must be preparing their minds that, oh, okay, our leader wants to contest. They must be preparing the ground for. So it's not too early to me.
Kwesi Nyantakyi, being the GFA president, I think has had a lot of years to prove to Ghanaians he is capable. Why do we understand? Whichever point he has taken it to, I think it's time for someone to succeed and continue the good works he did. But dismissing the man is sudden, like it's mind-baffling, you understand? Because putting into consideration those that are likely to succeed him, I think he had a greater chance of becoming the next GFA president. So I want to believe there is a bit of backstabbing somewhere, you understand? So
he was appointed by the FA boss. So if he is sacked, that means that he's not performing up to what he is expecting. So if he is sacked, that one, I don't think we can blame him too much. What we are expecting is we want Ghana football to develop. That is, if he is sacked and they can go on and develop the football of this nation, it's okay. But if it will affect the Ghana football or the GFA, that one, it is that one that we have something to say about it.
Interesting times ahead in Ghana football, but be sure we'll bring you up to speed as whatever happens in the days ahead of the elections. But onto the main saga that hit us earlier this year, as many journalists that said were deported to Ghana following that Visa racketeering in Australia. President of the Rugby Association, Mr. Herbert Mensah, has called on the president to be more transparent in its dealings and investigation into that saga, despite 3 top officials that have been suspended already.
I think that the scandal is just terrible. You know, I'm a globalist, first and foremost, which is why my biggest problem in Ghana is the fact that I look at Ghana before I look at politics and the Ghanaian. And I think that where you have an issue like this, and we shouldn't forget that it's not the first time. Look at what we had during the World Cup. Look at what we've had in every major sporting event that Ghana goes to. It appears as though we have issues that affect our credibility. And every time it happens, I'm deeply saddened. Now I'm more so, because even though I was not a part of the Gold Coast team, I am sad. And I was abroad. I've been abroad for most of this year. So hearing it whilst I was abroad was even more saddening, you know, off the back of many other little scandals of the sort. And I think that the GOC themselves have to take a very strong position. The strong position on the following. 1, transparency. People need to understand the process and therefore culpability. People don't need to hide behind that. The process insofar as how do people go to an event? Which of the sports federation heads, first and foremost, recommends people to participate or to support? And what is the legitimacy in that? And where there isn't any, we need to look at that process. And those presidents, any of us, should be brought to book and held to task.
And finally, in boxing, Ghana's Isaac Dogbe is gearing up for that fight on April 28th against Jose Magdaleno, and a visit to his camp shows how he's preparing and ready for that bout.
Welcome to Joy Sports' journey to the World Title Diaries with Ghana's Isaac Dogbe in focus. Today, we take a look at the arsenal each boxer has. Indeed, Jesse Magdaleno has amazing hand speed and can stun any opponent with 2-3 punch combinations. He has a stunning left hook, which has proven problematic, especially for his knockout victims. The number has now risen to 18 out of 25. Isaac the Royal Storm Dogbe has a big dose of confidence for a boxer going into his opponent's territory. Isaac Dogbe has a big right and has the ability to work on the body of his opponents. His punishment is gradual and has a final effect on the opponent with consistency. Dogbe also takes the fight to his opponents and applies enormous pressure as seen in his last fight against Cesar Juarez. In the instance of a toe-to-toe exchange, Dogbe can be dangerous as he attacks with both hands. Occasionally, he's able to deliver some unexpected uppercuts. That's it for today's edition. Join us later for more.